wasn't.
I was.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but yeah, I got that.
Dan, what's going on?
You say when, Dan.
You got it, Ainsley.
He's just thinking about all of our nipples being hard.
Oh, dear.
Oh,
Oh my
great.
God, it's 77 in here. Emily.
Oh, did she never? She never
That's
told
why
me.
it was so hot.
That's why you guys are.
I'm in menopause, so I just thought it was me. I'm so used to doing immersion. No, I'm just having a hot day. I was hot today. I'm so used to me being hot. Yes, me too. I'll even ask my students.
Okay, I have a green light, Dan. Do you have a green light?
Because I'm always hot.
And you wear long sleeves, but because you're doing all that flipping, though.
Yeah, I cover up.
Okay.
Smart.
I just want to let you know I was not prepared for this.
No, I wasn't either.
Okay.
You might.
I'm afraid that it's gonna get stuck on stuff, hon. I
I
wonder.
think she's gonna be okay.
You know, the worst thing that's gonna happen.
For me yesterday.
The worst thing.
Do we have to
Good.
the mic?
Am I not hearing you?
Are you not hearing me at all?
Talk, test the mic.
I'm testing. I'm testing the mic.
Sounds good.
I could be testing the mic more.
All right, is Autumn there?
It's gonna fall out. It's gonna get in the way. I don't think that's a good spot for it.
I see the camera just took a picture, so.
Camera just shut off?
Yeah, you just shut down.
Back.
Turn back on.
Okay.
I think you should move your box.
Move
I think you should stick it on right here, Don.
my box.
Is it
You want me
in
to
your
move my
pants?
box?
The reason is,
Yeah,
this is
that's
the one spot where you're not like, you know, like you were on a touch point. You put that box on a touch point earlier. Right here, it won't go nowhere.
Perfect.
Okay, I hope it doesn't fall through, because I got nothing to hold them in there.
No, I'm sure it'll
Very
get,
busty.
I'm sure it's not going anywhere.
there?
That's where I had it yesterday, and it was
Alright.
absolutely fine.
Let's
Okay.
just start the show.
Okay, all right. So, welcome to class. Everybody just stand right in front of your swing. Take a nice big tug on it. Big tug. Come on, put the pressure in it. So, see if you can lift your feet up just a little bit on your tippy toes. So, it's not going anywhere, and this can also hold my whole entire family and a baby elephant at the same time. So, it's very strong. So everybody be very comfortable and confident about it. Let's get to our knees. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our hands in front of the fabric and grab around. This is a basic hold. And does anybody know what a cat or a cow pose is? Everybody familiar? Good. So what we're gonna do is just lean forward. Watch your core, hold your core. Nice little cat. It feels good, stretch. I don't hear good noises. There we go, there's one. And then the cow, drop it down, take a deep breath. And let's go to a cat one more time. Deep breath, hold it. See if you can stretch out a little more. Watching that core. Breathing. And let's come back up. Watch your neck. Hold that core. And let's come to a child's pose. Everybody familiar with the child's pose? Good. Beauty. And let's just lean forward a little bit. Deep breath. Hold it. Does that feel good on your thighs? Does everybody get a good stretch? Try to see if you can push through it further. Good. Everybody come back up. Shake out your hands a little bit. It's kind of a little rough on your hands for the first time. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll go, stand gracefully. Try it gracefully. We're going to open our swings up a little bit. And you just want to grab the end of the fabric, the tippy end of the fabric. Shake it out. And I want you to just take about 4 or 5 grabs. That'll put us right in the middle of the fabric. So just kind of, everybody got that? We're gonna go ahead and get underneath the center of your fabric and lift your left leg up. Ooh, that's a little taller. The other switch. Left leg up, and you want to bring the fabric all the way right, as close as you can to your hiney as possible. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to open up our hips a little bit. Breathe. Nice breath. Hold on if you need to. Watch your foot. See the turnout? Want to be turned as much as possible. Keep your hips straight. Good. Deep breath. Let's do a little side bend. Let's grab both hands right on to the side. And we're just going to bend over a little bit. Ooh, yummy. It feels yummy. Reset. You might want to look at where your plumb line is. Are you right underneath your plumb line? There you go. Perfect. Excellent. Let's just do one more. Breathing. Good. Ooh, look at that bend over there. That's good bend.
Thank you.
That's a very good bend. All right. This is a little taller waist. I'm kind of stuck. Sorry. The teacher is stuck. Okay. Now we're going to go into a pigeon. Is anybody familiar with that? Okay. So our leg comes right in front. Let's bring our hands right through the front. Let's stay here. Watch your plumb line. Good. Deep breath just for a second. Good hop. Good reset. Good. Deep breath. Good. Now just a little tiny bit. Make sure it's right underneath your hiney. Maybe not all the way underneath your hiney because you don't want a little groping going on back there. Always grab the material front to back. And then let's just lift off that leg. Just a little bit. Good. See how it supports your weight? No worries. Reset. You got it. Oh, it's a little too much. If the material is too tight, it'll gather. Good. Now, let's get daring and unafraid. Or maybe not. Let's go ahead and release one of your hands. Grab the back of that leg. Around the front. Thank you. Good. And pull as much as you can. Ooh, yummy. Breathe. Deep breath. And let's drop that foot. Good. And let's release that. Open back up. And let's just slide out of there just for a little bit. Okay, and now we'll go into the, what is that word? Again. This one.
Oh, Shavasana.
Say it again.
Shavasana?
Shavasana. Is that a D?
No. S-A-Vasana.
It's a V as in violet.
Shavasana. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna get your fan out your material one more time. And grab about 4 or 5 handfuls. Let's try getting your right knee right up inside. Grab up. Good. that foot up inside there. Our foot. Right foot. And pull up. And get your left foot in. Sure. Wait a second. I'll be with you in a minute. Okay, let's just have a seat. Slowly. Make sure there's plenty of material behind you. Good. And then let's just try it first. Pull your right knee back, left knee back, and lean forward.
Oh, show us this on our belly. Shavasana on our belly. Is that what you wanted?
I got 50%.
I got 50% in class.
No, you're fine, you're fine. Wait till I tell you we're gonna rotate it around. And then let's rotate on your side, right side. Rotate all the way around.
Oh, I was already there.
I said that.
We're just gonna let you guys stay there while we breathe. So this is a nice, she brought you into a nice spot to relax.
Thank
you. Alright.
Yay, done.
We're gonna just talk a little bit here, then we'll come back and give the notes to you, Dawn, and then Jody, you will switch places with Dawn, and because I think then you're up next.
Okay.
Alright, just so you're on deck. Well,
Dawn and I are the same height though, so that swing might be high.
It is a tad bit high. I'm always having fun.
Dawn, I really did it. You did an awesome job. Good job.
I don't know, but the whispering of the teachers is kind of making me more nervous than the teaching itself.
It's interesting, Dawn, because you and I chose the high swing. My paces are completely different than yours.
Oh, that's good then.
Yep.
Okay, so if everybody wants to sit up, that would be nice. If you can stay in your bucket seat. No, you're up here. So again, first thing, we always give a clap to somebody who has never taught before and it's their first time teaching. That's super important. It can be very, very scary, right, to do that, you know, a little nerve-wracking, all that sort of stuff.
That's why I turned up these.
Yeah, exactly, yes. It may feel like your head's in an oven or something. So, Dawn, great, I mean, obviously for your first time, that was great. Now you can say, whoop, I got the first time done, so, you know, it's all up, it's all downhill from here. Your personality obviously is really great. It's great how you already want to interact with people and stuff like that. But that can also sometimes be a little bit of a hindrance, right? Because you're trying to maybe win everybody over right away. But we want to make sure that you're telling them, giving them all the cues that they need. So like, at the beginning, coming down, you know, it would have been nice to say, okay, we're telling people, what are we gonna do before we do it? So like at the beginning, you're like, well, let's come down to the floor, and then wrap, you probably should have said, we are gonna come down kneeling, and we're gonna come into a basic hand wrap. So just kind of giving people an idea of what's gonna happen first, because sometimes people will be like, well, okay, we're coming down on the floor, all that sort of stuff, but they kind of know why they're coming
What's
down.
the reason?
Yeah, or just always announcing what the pose is first. There are a couple times where that's where, like, you know, she heard you say Shavasana, so she thought, oh, I'm gonna come down on my back. But you wanted them to come down on your stomach. So really saying, okay, here's the pose that I want you to do. Not necessarily that they're gonna know what that is, but there are some people in class who will know, oh, okay, locus, I'm on my stomach, you know, something like that. So it's always good to prep the pose first. Do all the instruction, and then add your personality into it. So that's, you know, that's kind of the thing, is reading what the students are doing and then doing the connection with it.
Don't worry about the Sanskrit terms.
Yeah, don't worry about, say, if you don't know Shavasana, say, we're gonna come down on our backs in the full fabric. That's all they need to know.
It's as easy as that.
Nobody cares if you know Sanskrit, oh, Shavasana, you know.
Well,
yeah.
I understand that, and you're absolutely 1,000 times correct. But when we're on the Pilates thing and you say, oh, now we're gonna do this, and it's like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. So, I
Yeah.
think that's what I was putting in,
Yeah.
is just, I don't know the term. Does anybody know what those terms are? You know,
So I-
oh, you
so-
don't know what it is, let me show you what it is.
Yeah,
I think
well,
that's,
but no, you're still gonna tell
Okay.
them though how to do all of it, but it's
Okay.
good to name, because the other thing is, as you keep teaching, people who come to your class are gonna know what, if you wanna use the term Shavasana is,
okay.
right? So you do wanna you do wanna always introduce, yeah, I might have, Lottie said, okay, we're coming in a short spine, that might not really mean anything to somebody, especially who's been coming for a while, but after a while, that's gonna mean something to you over time, right? I mean, it's just a little different than a lunge, you know, I'm gonna know what lunge means,
Okay, well,
you know.
I don't know what that was either.
Yeah.
So-
But you will.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be helpful for you learning to name the poses, because then you're gonna connect with, what is that? What does it look like? How do I get into it?
Okay.
So that's the idea.
Speak up a little.
Yeah.
Speak up a little.
Really?
When you are inverted, right, and you're talking to your students and you're demonstrating, you're talking while you're inverted, there are different acoustics down there versus upright.
Well, and when you're like this, it's getting
Different acoustics.
absorbed more.
Yeah.
So you might have to actually come out of the pose as they're in it and talk so they can hear you.
There were a few times where I didn't hear you at all.
Yeah.
I know, and I'm telling you, it's because when you invert, or
Mhm.
when you go into full fabric, things change.
Yeah.
How is the sequencing?
I like the sequencing.
The sequencing
It
was
flowed.
good. There was a couple of the things we would both agree with was, like when you went to go and do pigeon and it was way too high for you, I would have just stepped out of the swing
Yeah.
and just taught it. Because you could tell that it was kind of flustering you, right?
Okay.
It was uncomfortable, right? A little
Okay.
uncomfortable.
Step
And
out.
just step out.
Okay.
Just step out and say, you know what, I realize this swing's too high for me for this pose, but I'm gonna walk you guys through it,
Okay.
alright?
I do that
And they'd all done the
constantly.
pose before, so that was fine. I mean, yeah, if it was a really brand new class, they'd never done it before, then you might have to go and adjust your swing down.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a learning thing too, is that there might be, you know, there's some times where I've had short times in between classes and I get everybody else's swing adjusted and mine's really high and it's like, oh gosh, and I don't wanna go and get the ladder again. So a lot of times, yeah, I'll kind of grin and bear it, but if it really is unbearable and you're not really able to present the
Demonstrate properly.
yeah, you wanted to, you know, it looked fine, but I could tell that you were suffering
Yeah.
a little. You know, you even kind of
Yanking
said
you the
you're
wrong
like,
way, yeah.
this
You
is a
could
little
see
too
it,
high for
yeah.
me. So, you know, if that's the case, if you're not able to complete the pose, then step out of it and just teach it. You
And
know?
that way you see your students more too. That's something else. You
Yeah.
gotta watch them. Watch
Yeah,
what's
I
going
didn't
on.
care for not seeing what was going on.
You gotta watch
Yeah.
Well, and
Yeah.
then what happened, because you were a little flustered with the pigeon pose, you missed a couple cues, like before they were to lift the leg,
Yeah.
you did it after they lift the leg, cause you realized a bunch of them had their cheeks hanging out. But that's where, again, name the pose, let's put the leg in, let's pull the fabric up, let's bend the knee, let's bring the arms through. So I mean, everything's a system, right? It's a sequence of how you get to the end of the pose. But I think because it was a little too high for you, I think you're like, oh my God, my hip, this is really hard. You kind of lost track of the pose. Teaching it was more like, okay, can I get into
Can I
this?
get into, okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you were a little flustered that way.
Watching students is key. You
yeah.
gotta make sure, especially ones where all of a sudden everyone's up in the air. You're in like full anti-gravity mode, right? And that's when you've gotta make sure that they're in it correctly so they don't flip out,
In the pigeon pose, you said reach around and pull harder. I'm not a big fan of using the word pull because that implies a lot of times like pulling on joints and things like that. So I would use more of a word like reach around, reach for your foot. Something that's, something that's kind of neutral, right? Pulling is to me like, so there are certain words in our vocabulary that are a little aggressive, right? And in something like that with the knee joints, right? Because you're drawing, you're flexing your knee, and you are pulling it in, and you're extending your hip. That can, people could overdo it. So to try to use maybe more neutral words, or like, try to
Say it again.
reach.
Dawn, I've also heard press the top of your foot into your hand.
That's what I say. Kick back into the hand.
Overall,
can't reach their foot.
yeah, overall positive words.
Yeah.
Right, you never wanna say something negative, even if you don't, like sometimes you don't think
Push
about
can
it.
kind of be negative
Push
too,
can be a
because
little
push
negative.
means you're forcing something.
Yeah.
You
The
don't
F
want to
word
be
is out.
forcing. What's the F word?
Yeah, where's that?
Oh.
But I've heard like some people have gone to class and I've heard people say where you'll move into a pose and then sometimes someone can't do it and the teacher will just come out and say, well, if you can't do it, just do a modification.
Oh,
sounds
no.
awful.
Yeah.
That makes me feel like
Yeah.
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
capable. Yeah, right. So like that kind of verbiage along with the kind of words that do imply force, that type of stuff, just don't use them at all. Make it always positive, Say something like, yeah, if you can grab that leg, fantastic. If you can't grab that leg, fantastic. It's a modification, this is an option, maybe try this adjustment, maybe try that.
And then standing up so that was the other thing. I wasn't sure where you were going because you had them at the end, that last pose. You had to put their leg in, so I thought, oh, okay, and you had to pull all the way up, and I thought you were going into a single leg forward fold, and then you wanted them to stand up. I didn't hear you say, we're gonna stand up in the full fabric. So then they know, okay, we're gonna step up. And then when you have somebody lower down, whether it's either coming forward or back, you have to have fabric covering you. So you had them come down and take a seat. They all came down and their fabric wasn't covering their tush. So if they would have let go, they would have fallen out of the fabric.
Was your
So
intent to go like full fabric onto the stomach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then don't stand up.
Yeah, you didn't need to stand up, you could have just had them dive in. But if you did want to do it from standing, then they need to grab the fabric in front. Remember, we practiced that yesterday, and hold on to the sides, come down kneeling, and then extend out. You always have to make sure that in whatever direction you're going, you have that fabric in front of you, or you have it behind you, because a bunch of them all came down in a squat position without fabric behind them, and if they would have laid back, they would have come out of the fabric.
Or if they lost their balance in the squat, which can happen. You can start to get.
No, we knew
didn't.
everybody was gonna be okay.
Yeah, so we're just
We never
saying
was-
like that.
But it goes
what
back
could
to
happen.
again, what pose are we doing, what pose are we going to? Because that's gonna at least, people are gonna at least, if they've gone to
Have an
class, they're
idea.
gonna know.
Yeah, where they're
Otherwise, if they don't know what, like you said, well, I don't know what that pose is, then they're gonna wait until they see what you do or what everybody else is doing. And that's the same way in Pilates, right? It's like, okay, I'm gonna tell you, we go into short spine, draw the knees in, articulate the spine up, all that sort of stuff. So there's always a direction after a cue, or after, the presentation of what we're going to do. So, but yeah, I mean,
mean,
But that was
it was good.
It flowed, Dawn,
Yeah,
that
it was
flowed.
good.
You came in, you came
Yeah.
down, you got up, it was one to the next to the next.
Mm-hmm.
And you've already got your own authentic voice, which is kind
Yes.
of
Yeah.
cool for someone
And
else.
that's
Yes,
what-
for
I
sure.
liked the connection with your students.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's like the part
You've got
sometimes that's really
all the
hard
part,
for
yeah,
people.
you already got that.
The good steps.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I'm super impressed with your flow. Your
So
sequencing was spot on.
If you're gonna write out, let's say like you did, you wrote out your class, write out, you know, even remind yourself, name what we're doing. What's the first step to get into it? What's the second step? Because it seems to me, that's how your mind will work the best, is if you have the list of steps that you need to do. Eventually, you're not gonna need to do that, right? But if your
Like the
first.
steps that I have written out.
It's hard if you can't read your notes.
But it's hard to- yeah, it is hard to read your notes, but
Then
that
you
would
see,
be,
the more you
yeah.
practice it, Dawn, the more you'll feel how one post can flow to the next,
Yeah.
and you know, and how you can, oh, look, this transition was so easy. I'm going to teach this in the next class, you know. So it's practicing and thinking about. I like to picture it in my mind a lot of times. I'll sit, I'll think about what do I want to do, or if I were to do this and then to go there, and I just picture it, and then I go up into the swing and try it, and then I learn it, and then I learn how to teach it, and then I teach it.
And you're not the first person to have, when you come down into a pose, like 2 other people who are somewhere else, right?
Yes.
So you notice, yeah, like how you said, I got 50%.
50%.
You know, that makes sense.
I was your 50%.
So, yeah, so I
That
mean,
happens a lot.
Yeah, that's, again, because it's hard when you get in, that's the other thing, teaching people in the full fabric, they can't always
Can't
see you. So that's where your cues are gonna have to become really crucial, and people can hear.
Yeah, your descriptions and everything, what's going on. I liked how she went back to all the different descriptions that we talked about, grabbing the fabric front to back, doing that. Like, it's nice to hear that come out.
The correct verbiage
Yes.
was good.
Yeah.
Okay, what did you say, full fabric, you have to what? Watch your cues.
You have to watch your cues and describe more because people can't necessarily see, and that's when you got to speak up, because that's also when they can't hear.
Yeah, because the swing, if you're in the swing in full fabric, it's like I'm in here right now.
Yeah, it's a good tunnel.
So that's how people are hearing me. So a lot of times I'll have to peek my head out, right?
Or I come out.
Or just come out, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's nice. We have mirrors here. We have mirrors in Seminole. It's nice, but not a lot of studios will have that.
All right,
Okay.
take
Good
your
job,
final
Dawn.
bow.
Proud of you, Dawn.
That's right, princess. All right, so Jody's up next, and then we'll lower the swings down for Terry and Lynn.
Can I teach from this one? Because that one's gonna be too high for, red one's gonna be too high for.
I can adjust it for you.
Yeah, let's just
Yeah,
bring
let's
that
just
one
adjust
down.
it.
We should have just brought it down.
Yeah,
anyway.
we should have checked before we got going.
I'm just gonna move it for a moment and I'll put it right back.
You can teach from this one.
Work out just walking around this
Oh.
thing.
I know, so
This is one of my
Well, don't we should have taught Ross about all that.
Well, that's what we talked about. We would love to have a remote controller.
That would be so great.
I like the acrylic ladder idea.
Oh, you mean the glass?
The walls.
You know, so I
Or at
kept
least you could
Like,
paint it.
like stripper heels.
my Cinderella, to be my Cinderella,
Cinderella ladder.
the glass ladder.
You got a ladder on wheels that been locked in place.
Yeah, that would be nice too, a ladder on wheels.
Probably that.
Okay, I wanna let you know,
Those rollers.
that's how that
ruin the
table,
floor.
that's how that table fell out from underneath
Yeah,
my back.
okay, no wheels, we will
Yeah,
say no
don't.
to wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. It ruins the floor, and then things go wrong.
All right.
Okay, how's that placement there, Dan?
I'm gonna fix it. Oh yeah, we'll have to get them like that.
You get the mic.
Do that since we started. Wait, I wanted to do this too.
There's that clippy thing, so you can clip it to the fabric, and then it won't come out. And and it will stay, cause that's a tight clip.
Yeah, I could barely get on my
But I feel like that's the spot where even if you invert or whatever, it won't slip out.
All right.
Okay.
Good, Dan?
Yeah.
Right, you ready?
Oh,
Get in there, get in there.
She needs her students.
I'm sorry. You lost half the line.
welcome to the class, everyone. I'm sure, happy that you're all prepared and that you know about the silks and about the weight, and we're all gonna be safe. So I'm just gonna move right into the class. We are going to start with forward fold. So we're gonna take the silk top and bring it to our pelvic bone. And then just slowly bend over. And you should feel this in your calves and your glutes and your thighs. Take a breather here for a second. Then we're going to move into cannonball slowly. So we're going to take one leg up, hold it with our arm. We're going to take the other leg up, and this gives us a nice massage of the pelvic tissue. Now we're going to move to a more traditional yoga pose, downward dog. So place your hands and your feet on the mat. Walk your hands out. Try to stretch out your back and your armpits. See if your heels might touch the ground. Now we're going to do a fun one that's more fun and aerial. We're going to do three-legged dog. So let's start with our right foot. Bring it up, letting the fabric fall right below your hip bones. Give that a nice stretch. Breathe into it. We can put our foot back down, and let's do it with the left foot. Let that silk fall behind our hip bone. Give it a nice stretch. And now we're going to come back to our forward fold again. Walking your hands back and your feet towards your hands. You should feel that a little bit deeper. Does everybody feel a little bit deeper? Okay, now we're going to slowly roll up one vertebra at a time to a standing position. Keep your chin tucked. Stand in front of the fabric. Well, with the fabric behind you, yeah. So now we're going to, since we did some inversions, now we're going to counteract that with a high back swing. So place the fabric right about your shoulder blades where your bra strap might be. Walk your feet out a little bit. That's where you have to trust the fabric. Slowly lean back into your back swing. If your neck and head feels good, you can drop it back. If not, keep it supported. You can put your arms behind your head to support your head. And then we're going to sway softly back and forth. To the right a little bit, to the left a little bit. Maybe holding one of those sways for just a moment longer. Does it feel good? Okay, and now come back to right under the plumb line. And let's slowly stand up. And thank you for the class.
Well, technically, you still have 4 minutes left.
I told you I was in sales. I didn't want to get the gong. I told you my presentations were efficient.
Thinking that might be why.
So that would, well, first thing I would say is, we could have taken a little more time on those poses.
I didn't want the gong.
Well, here's the thing, is that he did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
I mean, named every pose, the
Right.
touch point, you even cued into some of the muscles, you cued the breath.
Yeah.
So you did everything that you needed to, so then all you need to do is just let him be there
Slow
longer.
down.
Yeah, slow
Like,
down.
I mean, I would have kept him a good minute in forward fold. I would have kept them a good minute in cannonball. I would have kept them a good minute in down dog. Add the 3-legged dog, then go back, as you go up to your step, and you would have hit 8 to 10 minutes.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's, I mean, that would really have been the only thing. And super, super cool, you even said, we're going to counter what we just did. That was very
That
cool.
was
So
nice
you
to hear.
had a thought process of, okay, we just did a lot of stuff forward, let's do some stuff backwards, which is a really good idea. And the other thing, when you think about that, you're getting them used to being in the swing, forward and backwards, and that takes trust in both ways.
Yeah.
So that was really good. You cued supporting the net.
Your cannonball, right? When you cue people into it, that can be a little bit
Did you
scary
right?
at first. Yeah, right spot. But when you bend one knee, you don't have to tell them to hold on to that knee right off the bat.
Okay.
Let them practice bending the one knee, and then maybe lowering that foot, bending the other knee.
Keep
Could
that
add
And
some
then maybe
time.
both
Yes.
knees, and then maybe add the hands.
Okay.
Sometimes people won't bring the hands up. They feel safe.
Yeah,
Hands flat.
keeping the knees in and hands on the
Yeah.
floor.
Okay, cool. Thank you for the
Yeah.
feedback.
That's good.
That was
That's
really
very
good.
good. We think you should teach.
Also watch your students, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that will, but that's something that also does come with time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is watching, seeing what they're doing, make sure they're doing it right too, and they're not wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was good. Like I
good
said,
stuff.
slow it down. That was like, I felt like that was like the tutorial. I was
I'm telling you, it's a salesperson in me from that story I just told you.
I was thinking that, I'm like, is she trying to fit this into like an Instagram post?
I actually was.
Speed yoga.
It was technically,
Speed yoga.
she actually was under 4 minutes, so I was like, okay. So she kept the productivity by 50%. Okay, so let's bring the swings down.
Okay.
So we're gonna have to bring those down. And I don't know, do we need some, are we gonna need daisy chains for some?
We may.
So if you guys wanna run, take a quick, bathroom break, you can. This should take us about 5 minutes.
Get down to the bottom, and then I'll hand you a daisy if we need it. Sound good?
Yeah. All right, what about this one?
This one's probably
Oh,
good,
that
because
one's
this is the
fine.
really long one. This one I think will be one.
Yeah.
Maybe two. Because once you step into that.
Well, actually, we
Obviously,
probably
that was
won't
a
even
really good
use
flow.
this one, because now
Thank
we.
you.
That's right.
Well, yeah.
Thanks, Autumn.
What'd you say again?
Autumn said that was a really